Stormy Daniels. If you are like me, you've never heard of this washed-up, middle-aged, mediocre adult actress before her recent emergence into the news. This woman has been embraced by CNN, MSNBC, and even SNL with open arms. Why would a woman like her be getting mainstream media attention, you might ask? Why is it that out of the blue, this person would be patted on the back by elites for breaching a contract which prohibited her from speaking about her time with a client more than a decade ago in 2006. Breaching an NDA is certainly not something that these network cronies would approve of if the shoe was on the other foot.
Stormy?
Or who can forget how desperate CNN was to get an interview with her back in March? They actually went to her work, if you catch my drift.
It's sort of been a double-edged sword where a lot of people are very interested in booking me for dancing and stuff like that, so I'm getting more dance bookings. I usually only dance once a month, and now I'm dancing 3 or 4 times a month, so that's been really great.
This is why many others and myself can't stand the mainstream media. The groupthink, for one, but also they aren't funny, insightful, clever, entertaining, trustworthy, innovative, or impressive in any way. They are all handed out the same scripts written by the same people who make the same points.
Hey, pay attention.
This person, Stormy Daniels, was paid $130,000 to remain quiet about her time with Donald Trump, money that she now apparently doesn't intend to pay back now that she's ran to every news station that will listen to her. And hey, maybe she does plan on paying it back, now that she actually has the money to do so. The same people, though, that were defending this woman, a literal call girl willing to go back on a deal for the sake of publicity, were the same ones saying unspeakable things about Juanita Broaddrick, who did not willingly give herself to Bill Clinton, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. If you expected these people to hold their standards across all sides, you would be mistaken. Now, Stormy's lawyer is adding to the Russia-Trump conspiracy theory by claiming that Trump's lawyer, Michael Cohen, received money from a Russian oligarch. You can only hear people cry wolf so many times before you just stop believing their lies. This is yet another chapter in a campaign to bring about discord and division to the United States. Remember when it was the supposed election interference that created the discord? Well, this Russia hysteria that these exact people created is now creating the discord that they claimed was a result of the Russian meddling.
The Russians said to the Trump people, "We can help you. Donald Trump Jr., love it, bring it on." The Russians did it with Wikipedia, and Trump therefore used it 100 times on the campaign trail, encouraging the Russians to steal from Hillary Clinton, okay?
Richard Goodstein claims that Wikipedia hacked our election. Just think to yourself, how many times has the story shifted in these last 2 years? Remember when it was Guccifer 2.0 that was the key to all this, until people found in the metadata that the Guccifer data must have been obtained locally, as the transfer rate of the data was more consistent with a USB connection rather than a wireless internet connection. Yet this revelation was not aired on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and once their claim was disproven, they jumped to another claim, trying to make us forget that they just spent several months on a bogus story. This brings me to the point I wanted to make in this video. Yesterday, internet sleuths on the image boards noticed an interesting marking on Stormy Daniels' hip. When asked about it on Twitter, Stormy immediately responded, saying that the pictures were photoshopped, and then later saying that it was a surgical scar. Well, which is it? Of course, even asking questions about this is taboo. What could this mark mean? And why was she so quick to respond, and why did she seem so sensitive about it? You would think if somebody made an outrageous claim, you would just laugh at it, find it funny, rather than finding yourself immediately filling up with rage, calling those that point this out crazy with clear moral indignation. What could this brand mean? Was it photoshopped? Perhaps it was actually a scar from having her tubes tied. The reason people found it particularly strange was that it was similar, although not the same, brand that Allison Mack had, the actress from Smallville who was in the news for a millisecond following this article that came out, which was then quickly buried as soon as Bill Cosby was found guilty. Ironic that people virtue signaled in celebration about Cosby's conviction. A quick reminder that no physical evidence was used to convict him, by the way. Enjoy that in 10 years. But people kept quiet about Allison Mack's little club. You have to admit, those brands do make you wonder. So, is Stormy Daniels under the thumb of elites? Judging from her actions, I think it's likely that somebody is pulling her strings. But is she part of a cult? That seems outlandish. Seems like a bit of a stretch. Here's a tweet of hers from February 18th, 2010. Quote, "I think I'm about to be initiated into a gang. Or maybe it's a cult. Lol." Lol indeed, Stormy. We are in a bit of a catch-22. If any of this is true, no one's going to speak of it or bring it up on the mainstream media. Why would they, if they stand to lose so much? If this is fake, it's only going to be refuted by those who are no longer trusted by the general public. In this case, you will have to decide for yourself what is going on. Personally, I don't think that the mark looks close to a surgical scar, as it wouldn't have such a weird shape to it. On top of that, how outraged and vague Stormy was when bringing this up sent off red flags to me. I don't think it's impossible for things like this to happen behind the scenes. If the mark is real, then she is owned or deeply in debt to those who are using her as a cudgel to fight against a sitting president. Remember Juanita Broderick. Remember Kathleen Willey. Remember that no matter how many times people tell you how bad Trump is, he never forced himself on Stormy Daniels like Clinton did to all those other women. And remember, the same media, the same exact people sometimes, who covered for Bill Clinton forcing himself on numerous women while married, are the ones that are so outraged about Trump and the crazy things he says. This is the same media that pretends that they don't know why people think that they are liars.
It's crazy. Ted Turner changed the world. I'm a big fan of yours. Is he? He would serve you against it. I'm really surprised. He's ready. What's he got left in life to gain? After you're elected, think about it. No dope.
That's for sure.